My name is Monkey D. Luffy and I'm gonna be the king of the pirates. I ate the gum gum fruit and became a rubber man. Even though my power looks useless on the surface, through creativity, training, and sheer force of will, I'm able to use many different rubber related powers. By using the gum gum fruit, I've managed to save my friends from whatever they're up against numerous times. For example, I rescued my friend from the clutches of the CIA, beat the brakes off the love child of Don Vito Corleone and Satan himself, and went 12 rounds with the son of one of the strongest people on the planet who can see the future for the sake of my friends. But now I face my toughest challenge yet. Kaido, one of the 4 emperors of the sea. I wonder what creative techniques I can use to defeat him and get one step closer to my goal of becoming the pirate king through use of the gum gum fruit. Turns out this entire time my gum gum fruit was actually the triple backflip booty blast bumblefuck 9000 god fruit that gave me the power of freedom to beat the guy who dog walked me 3 times already. Am I the only one who sees a problem with this? The whole human fruit in Gear 5 reveal devalued the entirety of Luffy's progress and his whole adventure. It changed the main reason of his victory against all his tough opponents like Doflamingo or Katakuri from his own creativity and tenacity to his fruit's ass-pull freedom abilities. And just because Oda foreshadowed it doesn't mean the reveal was any better. Oda has proven himself to be an amazing writer, so watching him fumble this bad is shocking. Gear 5 felt like something that Oda came up with as a get out of jail free card after writing himself into a corner with Kaido. It just makes Kaido's defeat feel cheap because Oda made him so powerful there was no feasible way for him to lose, so he had to come up with some bullshit to make the hero win. And the part that makes it even weirder is the fact that Oda's allegedly had the entire story planned out from the beginning, so that means that Gear 5 was going to happen the way it did regardless. And don't even get me started on the anime version of the reveal. The manga chapter was decent because it had the element of surprise, but episode 1071 has to be the most underwhelming shit I've ever witnessed in any anime ever. The feeling of disappointment compared to the hype has literally never been matched and probably never will. People were calculating when it was gonna come out by comparing the phases of the fucking moon with how much content was left in the manga literal months before it happened. And when it finally happened and crashed Crunchyroll and broke the internet, it was fucking boring. The first half of the episode was just the average horribly paced animated PowerPoint cancer that we've been numb to throughout Wano. It takes a whole 15 minutes to get back to Kaido and Luffy's fight, before which we see these cuts of Luffy jumping around and transforming 3 separate times with slightly different dialogue. And to be fair, the animation in the last 5 minutes is pretty good, but as a whole, the episode was super underwhelming. This is a problem with the One Piece anime as a whole, but that's a video for another day. But you know something that was objectively better than Gear 5 in every single way in the anime? Zoro vs King. Narratively, it makes more sense because King is the perfect foil for someone like Zoro, the man who is from a biologically superior species and was born with power, versus the man who was born with nothing and had to earn his strength. This is the kind of writing that you would expect from Oda. Though this is kind of subjective, the animation is much better and readable, and paired with the insane music and sound design is just so much more epic. And another thing that led to Zoro vs King's finale feeling so much better was that it was a surprise. For people who hadn't read the manga, it kind of came out of nowhere and was shocking, so there was no expectation and it felt much cooler when it happened. And that was the complete opposite with Gear 5. Gear 5 has to be the most spoiled singular event in any anime or manga ever. Even Sanji vs Queen was good for the same reasons, just to a somewhat lesser extent. Narratively, music-wise, and animation-wise, it was such a good moment for Sanji. But Gear 5 had a net negative effect on Luffy's character. Compared to the level of spoilers and hype, there was nothing they could have done in episode 1071 that would have made it live up to what people wanted. Even if they made a 20-minute Sukuna vs Mahoraga level fight, it still wouldn't have lived up to the stupidly high expectations that the manga readers had created. And the fact that it was as boring as it was compared to the hype just made it feel so much worse. One Piece is still an ongoing story, so maybe at the end when Oda reveals the One Piece it'll all come together, but as it stands I genuinely feel that the One Piece story has gotten weaker since Gear 5 and the vibe has changed a lot. It's not bad by any means, I still love the One Piece story, but Luffy just doesn't feel the same anymore. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but in my opinion, Luffy is now one of the things that I care about the least in One Piece. The world building, history, and other Straw Hats like Zoro and Robin are by far much more interesting to me. Even more minor characters in the extended world like Kuzan are more intriguing. I was originally gonna make this video the week when 1071 came out, but I decided to wait a little bit to see if my opinion changed, and for the sake of this video I went back to rewatch it, and if anything I dislike it more now than when it came out. When it came out I just had a feeling of that's it, and the entire first half of the episode being wasted on Orochi and Hiyori's conversation made it feel so weak, and after rewatching it did the narrative implications really sink in, and that was when I realized the damage 1071 really did to the One Piece Luffy's story. Do you guys agree or not? Let me know, cause I don't know how much of a hot take this whole video is. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch. I'll be back to streaming in a bit once I figure out my schedule. Also, I enlisted a bunch of videos to make the channel look cleaner, but if you wanna watch them, there's a doc with all the links in the description. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye bye.